Many thanks for joining us here, for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. There's fresh trouble for the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Dame, as the minority in Parliament has filed a motion to remove him for allegedly refusing to comply with a directive from Parliament to facilitate the admission of some 499 students into the Ghana School of Law. Parliament on October 29, 2021 passed a resolution directing the General Legal Counsel to admit the 499 candidates who were denied admission into the Ghana School of Law. However, the Attorney General wrote back to Parliament saying the House cannot direct the General Legal Counsel on its admission processes by resolution. In a memorandum by the Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak addressed to the Speaker of Parliament, the minority wants a censure vote scheduled on the Attorney General. My colleague Kweku Asante joins us via Zoom with details of this censure motion. Kweku, before you tell us details of the content of this motion, run us through what Parliament directed the AG to do.
All right, and so on the 29th of October, just last month, Parliament, by a unanimous vote, passed a resolution to direct the General Legal Counsel to admit these 499 students who were said to have passed the law school entrance exams but had been denied admissions into the law school. According to Parliament, it had the power to do that, and so it issued that instruction and direction to the General Legal Counsel, but asked the Attorney General to be the one to ensure that this is complied with. The Attorney General wrote back to Parliament and said that Parliament does not have the power to purport to do what it did by resolution, and so it cannot direct the General Legal Counsel. Although the minister actually admitted that as Minister of State, he had supervisory role over the General Legal Counsel, but contended that it was only the President that could have directed him to do that, and that he had already been directed, he was already in the process of doing that. And so Parliament did not have that power. And so this is why Parliament is taking this decision now.
The motion now, what does it say? What are the minority MPs asking Parliament to do?
All right, so let me quote directly from this censure motion that has been filed to the Speaker of Parliament. It says that this Honourable House passes a vote of censure on the Honourable Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Mr. Godfrey Dame, for two things. First, for his refusal without justifiable basis to implement the resolution of this Honourable House, unanimously passed on October 29, that the General Legal Counsel admits into the Ghana School of Law 499 students who sat for and passed the entrance exams of the Ghana School of Law for the 2021-2022 legal year. The second one is that the Attorney General impugned the image and integrity of the House through statements unbecoming of the holder of the office of the Attorney General and Minister for Justice of this Republic. So this is the memorandum the minority has sent to the Speaker of Parliament.
But Kweku, you have been looking through the Constitution. Run us through what it says about a censure motion and processes that the minority would have to go through to get it passed or otherwise.
All right, then, so the minority have a tall task ahead of them. First, they would need 2/3 of the House to be able to pass this censure. We know that only 137 MPs currently are NDC MPs, which means they would need at least 46 NPP MPs to join them. We know this has taken a certain political twist. We will see how the minority will navigate this. But also, the debate would have to take place within 14 days of this motion having been sent to the Speaker. The Speaker would need 7 days notice. After that, the bill or this motion, I beg your pardon, will be debated in Parliament for 14 days for this vote to be taken, at which the minority would need 46 MPP MPs to join them before they'll be able to pass this.
Well, thank you very much for bringing us those details, both in the censure motion and on what the Constitution says about censures. We have been joined on the phone by NDC MP Roxanne Nelson Dafiametro, who has been on the crusade to reform legal education and is part of this attempt as well. First, what exactly do you seek to achieve with this censure motion? Is it to remove the AG from office or that Parliament would not recognize him? What exactly?
Now, if you read carefully the constitutional provision in question, which is Article 82, clause 2A and B, it provides a procedure for this motion. The essence of this provision in the Constitution is to sanction, as it were, disrespectful conduct of ministers of state as well as deputy ministers of state towards Parliament. Now, we find the conduct of the Attorney General in this matter very special. He has communicated in a very condescending tone to Parliament, and as it were told Parliament that even if I have received your directive, I am minded to follow the one given to me by the President. And we think that an Attorney General will be extremely communicating with Parliament in such a manner. What are the issues? Pursuant to Section 1, subsection 5 of the Access 2, that is the legal professional act, the Attorney General is given the power by Parliament to, as it were, direct the affairs of the General Legal Council as and when it is necessary. So the General Legal Council takes instructions from the Attorney General. The Attorney General is the one Parliament has empowered to ensure that this is done. And in return, the Attorney General is accountable to Parliament. So when Parliament, pursuant to Article 103 plus 3 of the Constitution, conducts an inquiry into a matter by what we call a committee of the whole and passes a resolution, you don't write back to Parliament and say that we have no power at all. Indeed, if you read the Attorney General's letter to Parliament by way of a legal opinion, it's a very pathetic opinion to send to Parliament. He didn't even say that to some extent we have the power, but it is exercisable through him as an Attorney General. He didn't even say that. He told Parliament in the face completely that we have no power. So we'll show him that we have the power. We will censure him. And that we are also going to conduct an inquiry into the activities of the General Legal Council, at least for the conduct of admissions for 2021. Those things are coming. And the essence of what we seek to achieve is to remove him from office, so that we can have a new Attorney General.
But the Constitution says the President may remove the minister in question, and so it is not absolute even if Parliament passes this motion against him.
Yes, but you are aware that the Supreme Court has gone ahead to separate two phrases in the Constitution. May shall mean shall, and shall also mean may. You are aware? You are aware of that?
I'm not aware of that, sir.
I see. Okay. So that is the position of the law. When we censure the Attorney General, he cannot remain in office.
But you have a tough, hurdle to cross. You need 2/3.
Why?
We know that the resolution passed was unanimous, but getting the Attorney General removed would demand that you get the support of your colleagues on the other side.
Why is the media suddenly trying to play politics with this matter?
We are not playing politics with this. We know how the House runs.
Hold on. You made your point. Let me expatiate on what you have said. Media communicated that Parliament unanimously passed a resolution, and that resolution has been disrespected by the General Legal Council as well as the Attorney General. But suddenly, when we filed the motion to censure the conduct that is contumacious of the powers of the Attorney General, the media suddenly says that it is only the NDC members who are doing that.
But the motion you filed did not say this was a motion on behalf of all members of the House.
It is not supposed to say so. What the Constitution says is that the motion is supposed to have the support of 1/3 of members of Parliament. Simply, that is the condition upon which the motion can be filed. And that requirement has been satisfied. The further requirement is that the notice must be given 7 days after which it shall be moved. And then the motion has to be moved within 14 days after the 7 days has expired. And the other requirement is that in moving the motion and for the motion to succeed, you need 2/3. Then suddenly the media wants to say that it is the NDC people who are moving the motion and the NPP people will be against. This is Parliament speaking.
But
the speaker who presided, with all due respect, is a member of the majority. The member in whose name the motion that the respect of which is giving birth to this motion stood in the name of the deputy majority leader, who was the leader of the House at the time. So this is business of Parliament. This is not a divisional business of Parliament.
Well, Mr. Dafeonto, I would like to thank you.
This is Parliament speaking as a whole.
I would like to thank you for your time, but definitely asking the obvious questions and critical questions based on how Parliament has run does not amount to bias. And I think that is very fair. Thank you very much for your time here on Joy News Prime. We can also speak on Zoom to the General Secretary of the National Union of Ghana Students, NUGS, Julius Kwame Anthony, for more on this. You have been at the forefront of this issue. What do you make of the latest development by the minority in Parliament? You'd have to unmute your device, Julius, so we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sincerely speaking, I do not see this move by the members of Parliament as a solution to the problems we have been facing. And it wasn't one of the actions I expected from them. All the same, I appreciate the fact that Parliament has taken this step to assert its authority to the extent that the Attorney General says they don't have the locus to issue such a directive. I disagree with the Attorney General on that, and all actions that come as consequent to that response, I support entirely. All the same, the issue comes to the fact that the commitment to get these 499 students to school now lies with the President of the Republic. Because if you read the Attorney General's response to Parliament, he clearly indicated that the President has given him some directives to see to it that the 499 students are admitted, or he should look into the matter. If the President has gone ahead to give a clear directive that, Mr. Attorney General, please get these people admitted within this period of time, this matter would have ended. But seeing how far Parliament has come in pursuit of the issue is evidence to the fact that the legislature has expressed their commitment to this issue. The judiciary, on the other hand, looking at the membership of the General Legal Council and all that, has clearly indicated that they are not committed to opening up legal education, in our opinion. And now we want to see the President, show his commitment or be more direct about what he thinks about this situation. Because he is a president who, in one breath, told us that his mission is to make education accessible to all. The last time he was in the University of Ghana during the induction of the Vice Chancellor, he reiterated that point. So he cannot be the same president who presides over a system where students are failed en masse, and then some of them who even pass the threshold are denied admission. So now that it's clearly evident that there's no, commitment on his side, we will no longer direct our petitions and, actions towards Parliament. We will not direct them towards the presidency.
But is it not clear to you, Julius? You referred to the Attorney General's statement in which he said the President has asked him to intervene in the situation. Yes. And then right after that line, he then goes on to say the General Legal Council did not advertise what you say was advertised, the 50% pass mark that you talk about, and that the October notice is what the General Legal Council stands by. And he goes on to make that argument. Does that give you any indication of any possibility of admitting these 499 students?
I think it's not too late for the 499 students to be admitted. I mean, their colleagues started school just last week, and then we are in the second week, which just began yesterday. But then on the issue of whether or not 50% is the pass mark, I mean, logically reasoning, no one can deny this. The people you have passed are those who have met 50% and above. That was clearly all the 780 or so which people who have passed. That's the threshold they have met. The year before, people who were disqualified some even had 49.5, others who had 50 and above were passed. So this is a simple issue of logic.
Well, it's not as simple as that. The General Legal Counsel disagrees with this position, and the Attorney General agrees with what the General Legal Counsel has said. And so
the General Legal Counsel picks and chooses which is the rule when it serves their purpose. It's not a matter of whether or not they disagree, or factually that is the issue. We all know for a fact. We have lecturers, professors of law who taught these students, who indicates that to the extent that they are aware, 50% has always been the pass mark. And per the score sheet they have released themselves, that has been it. Those who have passed, those who they have admitted, are the ones who clearly have the 50+1 or and above. The only difference in this case is that they brought a new rule which says that to get 50, and above, you must have had 50 in section A and 50 in section B. That's the difference that has come into it. But all the years up to this point, that has been the case.
Very well. Julius, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much. That's Julius Anthony, the General Secretary of the National Union of Ghana Students.